What is going on, YouTube? We're back again. Gonna be working on the Civic again. This is the reassembly part. Said I wasn't gonna do it, but here we are. By the way, look at these gloves. They've seen better days. Anyway, so we got all brand new parts here. And we're gonna go ahead and use them all the gaskets and everything. We have to figure out where they all go. So first off, we're gonna start off with this head. We're gonna reassemble all the parts on this first before we throw it on with the new head gasket, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so first off, we're gonna put this pipe in. One we took out, it has no seal, no gasket. That's a 10mm bolt. Second, we're gonna put our VTEC solenoid back in. Make sure you kind of clean this up a little bit if you're gonna be using that same seal again. Next off, we're gonna put our fuel injectors in. We got these new O-rings in, so what you wanna do is lube them up just a little bit. Wipe off the excess. And then what you want to do is position it straight right here with these, and then just give it a nice little push, and then you'll feel them go in, and that's it. Put your two 10mm nuts back in. And then now we have our intake manifold. So you're gonna switch out these seals. If you got them, go ahead and throw them on. And then just make sure the mating surfaces are clean. So grab your manifold. That pipe is gonna go into one of these tubes. Just gonna push down on it. I would go ahead and put these nuts in. You'll start putting your screws in. Don't forget the last one underneath the throttle body. And we'll just start tightening everything down. Always when you're tightening, start from the middle and work your way outwards. Then we're gonna go ahead and put some gasket maker on this. I don't know if there's an actual gasket for that, but when I took it out, it had a gasket maker on it, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Make sure it's one that is approved for water, because this is a coolant line. And then now we'll stick it on down here. These are 10mm screws, there's 3 of them. Let that hold there for a little bit before we tighten it up. That way it can take the form of the gasket, and then we'll tighten it up. Next we'll use this little line here. It goes down here. We're gonna go ahead and reuse the gasket, and this little pipe part should face up. Remember, you can always do all of this when the head is already in the vehicle. Now before throwing it on, you do want to make sure you're still aligned up here. Remember where the up goes, and then your little notch right there. And then we're going to go back onto the car. Okay, so now that you have everything positioned, make sure you have your dowel pins in the right spots. Get it good, get it centered, make sure everything is clean. Now you're ready to put the head on. Now that you got it centered in, we're we're gonna go ahead and put the bolts, cylinder head bolts to be exact. We got all brand new ones. Make sure you oil them up. Just lube them up pretty good. So now we're just gonna turn them until it meets, and then we're gonna torque it down correctly, and then we'll get our angle torque wrench and then go ahead and finish it off. So now that we got everything down, we're gonna go ahead and torque them up. This is the order that I found online. We're gonna go ahead and follow that, 29 foot-pounds. So this is an angle torque. We're gonna turn it 90 degrees. So we're gonna just begin. We'll put that right there. This is after you're done torquing it, the first step. So this is the second step, which we're gonna do 90, then 90 again. And since they're new bolts, we're gonna do 60. So again, we're gonna follow the same order as we did for torquing. Okay, so we're gonna take off the water pump right here. Put a rag so it doesn't go in there if you don't have the cover for the timing chain. There's 5 10mm screws, and then I already pre-loosened it, obviously. So we'll just take it off. Okay, so to put the chain on, you're gonna match up the black link up here to that notch on the cam. So make sure that's lined up here, and also at the bottom. At the bottom, you'll also see a notch right there on the chain. And on the pulley itself, there's a little notch. I don't know if you can see it. And then we'll just put that on like that. But first we're gonna put our guides just to line everything up. So as you can see, this side is sticking out a little more. And then the little pointier side, I guess you can call it, goes towards the bottom. So we'll just start putting them on right now. Just go ahead and tighten that down, and then we're gonna do the same thing to the other guide. I already threw it on there, but we haven't tightened anything yet. Okay, so you're gonna tighten the lower tensioner here all the way. You're gonna push this forward. Make sure your notch is still down there on that black link and up here. And then you're gonna push that forward. And I'm gonna go ahead and reuse the old tensioner. And then just tighten it down. And once you're done, pull out the pin. My pin came out as I was putting it in, so I couldn't show you that.
All right, as you can see here, this is the old timing chain. You don't want to reuse it because it will get locked. So this is trash, but if you want to use it as a necklace, you can, or anything. There you go.
Okay, so just make sure everything is lined up perfectly. And again, there's the notch with the black link as far as the bottom goes as well. As you can see, it's gonna line up with that notch right there. So once you got that, just kind of tuck, like push this guide towards that way, and then pull the pin on your tensioner, and you should be good. Now we're gonna focus on putting this cover back so we can put that mount, and then we can start getting the easy stuff out of the way. So I went ahead and cleaned all the mating surfaces up, all up here and down here on my cover. Make sure you get all of this, and right here, just everything up to here as well. I still got a little bit, I'll clear that off in a bit. And then make sure you have your 3 O-rings. There's one there, one here, and there's one there. I couldn't get new ones, so I'm gonna have to use the old ones. If at all possible, put new ones on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put layer this on. This is Ultra Flange 2. It's a Honda product, but you don't have to use this. I think you could use like the right stuff and stuff like that. I'm not gonna show you this just because I can't hold up the camera right now. But anyways, just go ahead and layer it on. Okay, so I went ahead and threw that on. I do want you guys to know that there's a little screw back there right by the PCV valve, so don't forget that. I went ahead and put a new front main seal, and I do need to tell you that these two screws are a little different. They're a little fatter in the middle, so be aware of that. They're all the same. All the 10 millimeters are the same except for those two at the bottom, so make sure you put those on the same spot. And you'll notice that I actually noticed it at the very end, so don't do that, and you know, be aware. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put that mount so we can position the engine pretty good, and then we can, like I said, get the easy stuff out of the way. So go ahead and tighten that down. Remember that this one goes in here. Just take this screw off. Okay, so when you have it on, it should look like that. 2 bolts there, and then the one back there. Should look like that. Now we're gonna go ahead and lay the other one on top of here. That one looks like this. Okay, once you position this, put this bolt through, get a couple threads in. Don't put this one in yet. You're gonna put this one in, but now what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull back on the engine this way. So you're gonna pull back this way a little bit and see how that moves. And then once you get that, just put that straight through, thread it right down. I won't be able to show you that again, but just trust me. And once you get that all lined up and everything good to go, this will be the last one. Remember, it slides in here. We're gonna push that in. I'll show you guys from there. Don't forget your ground. And that's how it should look like. Here's what I want to do next. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw on the water pump. Like always, make sure that you have your surfaces clean before putting them on. There's also this gasket that goes around. Make sure it goes on straight, and that's about it. Just put the bolts in. And there you go. You have 5 10mm screws total. Go ahead and just kind of crisscross them when you're tightening them down. So here we are putting the crankshaft pulley back on. It might be easier to put this on, turn it until you can align this, and then put that little key insert in, and then that's about it. Now you can put your bolts back in. Okay, so now we got our water pump in, our crankshaft pulley in. We're gonna throw this guy back in. So let's go ahead and do that. I had to straighten that out. Now we're gonna put this bolt in. It's gonna go right here. And then don't tighten it all the way. Just snug it up with your hands for now, or with your fingers. So I'll just try to show you a quick view. That's it, right there. And then if we look at it from here, this is what it should look like, right there. So we just need to snug up that bolt. And then once you got it, go ahead and tighten that up. That's 8mm hex. And then you'll tighten this one up as well. That is a 12mm right here. Now you could throw this water pump pulley on. Go ahead and tighten those up. 3 10mm. And next we're gonna throw on this alternator. We're gonna match that up there. We'll get our longer bolt. Put it right through the back. Wiggle it a little. And then with our smaller bolt, we're gonna go ahead and put it down there. It's kind of hidden right under it. You got both of them in, go ahead and tighten it up. They're both 12mm. And we're gonna go underneath the vehicle real quick. Over there is where we put our bolts for the intake manifold. So these little, I guess, rivets came out of it. And let me try to position the camera. As you can see, they go right here. There's that one. And again, this is what they look like. And then there's the other one. Now we're gonna try to get those bolts back in. And then go ahead and tighten those up. We'll give a second check on the bottom once we get a little bit more cleared up. I want to cover this, so I'm going to go ahead and put some of the stuff back. So you can see this little hose goes down here, just like that. Move that clamp through, and then here's your fuel line. Just kind of push it through. Those clips need to go in between there, so you could just snap in, just like that. Throw on that cover. There we go. And now there's this hose in the back that goes on the intake manifold over here. Just put that through. I'm gonna go ahead and put those clamps on. Last thing to put on. Well, not last thing, but we're gonna go ahead and put this power steering line back here. Just that holder. That screw right through there, and it goes right on the manifold itself. Let's see if I can get it. Once you got it through, go ahead and tighten it up. That's about it. Now you're gonna grab your wiring from over here. Make sure you put the harness right through there. No, it's a little dark. Right through there. And then there is this connector right here. Don't forget that. We'll go ahead and put it on first. And we can swing this whole harness this way. I'm gonna go ahead and just start plugging stuff in. And I'll try to show you. This connector goes right here on the throttle, behind the throttle. Go ahead and throw that in. Get your fuel injector connectors in. That. And then now you're going to put this one in, just like that. And then these are the ones that swing towards the back over here. Go ahead and push those through. Now on the holder itself, let's see, that one, go ahead and put that 10mm right through it. Goes right behind that VTEC solenoid. And then you'll have that one connector that goes behind that VTEC solenoid. It'll go right through there. Then there's this fat connector right here. That one curls around and goes into a solenoid or some kind of valve on the intake manifold. And then on the throttle body, you'll see this connector on top of it, and then you'll see this connector as well. Go ahead and throw those on, and then go ahead and throw this plastic back on. There's some little notches and some rubber grommets where it goes through. I'm gonna go ahead and adjust the valves. I'm not gonna show you guys how to adjust valves. There's other videos on YouTube showing you how to adjust the valve. So once you got everything prepped, you got your gasket in, just dab a little bit of sealant on those ends right there, and then go ahead and tighten those down. It probably would have been easier if I would have left the fuel injectors disconnected. It was kind of pain in the ass to get to the back, so just be aware of that. Maybe I should have done it, but you could probably avoid this as well. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw on my spark plugs. Remember, don't use power tools. And then obviously go ahead and throw in your coils. And we can go ahead and put our screws right there for the wiring in the back. And then go ahead and tighten those down as well. And on top of our, I guess you'd call it the EGR mount, remember to put our three 12mm bolts there. Go ahead and position them. Don't forget that gasket in the back here too. Once you got that through, remember that this slides in through here, and then you can line up where these bolts go, where these screws, 10mm. There's one there and one here. And we'll go ahead and plug these in. Go ahead, and this slides through here, clicks in. Go ahead and put that in on your top of your alternator. Close that up. And this goes right here. Push that through. And then you see this one. Go ahead and grab your connector for the AC compressor. Go ahead and slide that. Just like that. And then we'll plug that in. Go ahead and put this little mount on here. Then you're gonna grab these connectors, and then as you can see there's two holes right there. You go ahead and mount them up there. Then go ahead and tighten those up right away. Now we're gonna look down here. Have this connector right here, and then a little loop. So this obviously goes right there. This goes right here, and then there's this connector down here. It just goes on the bottom right there. So you got that. You want to clean this off best you can. Go ahead and throw on your new gasket, and then we'll throw on the EGR valve. Go ahead, throw that on. There's two 12mm nuts. And we're gonna grab our catalytic converter. Go ahead and change out this gasket if you got it. Went ahead and threw that gasket on as well, and right there as well. So 3 total. And we're gonna lower this in there. Go ahead and match them up. Should be good for now. Go ahead and put 2 nuts on there to hold it. Don't tighten anything yet. So here's what we did. We just put those through, snug those up. I left those a little loose. We wanted to kind of have some movement because we gotta match it up on the bottom. So we're gonna go ahead and look at it from the bottom now. And then from down here, you're gonna go ahead and put those 2 12mm screws through. And then there's that 14 up here, the one we took out. It is right there. Go ahead and put that through. And then the other one we took out is actually right there. So go ahead and start tightening everything down. Go ahead and grab this connector here. I'm gonna loop it through. Then you just plug that right in. And then we're gonna put the shield over this. Just goes over like that. Let's put on the O2 sensor. You can put some anti-seize if you want. I just want to start bolting it down. Then go ahead and bolt those down. Tighten them up, I mean. As well as your O2 sensor. And then we're gonna plug it in. Okay, so got a pretty big mess right here. We're gonna put the most obvious ones first and then go from there. This one obviously goes here. Then we can go ahead and put this one. As you can see, it goes right there. And then we got this one. Possibly goes there, or it does go there. Got this one, goes here. And then, let's see. We got this freaking mess. Oh man. Try and figure it out. Okay, so it looks like this end goes there. And then this one looks like it loops right through there and then goes inside of here. Okay, just start putting all your clamps back. Go ahead and put your hose back through. And then I forgot to tell you guys to put this cover on, but go ahead and throw it on. 2 10mm screws right there, each side. And last but not least, we got this one. Goes right on the throttle body over here. Go ahead and put your intake tube on, down there obviously. And we'll put our mass airflow sensor, plug that in there. I think they wrapped this through underneath. Obviously that's plugged in there. I went ahead and threw the drive belt back on. If you haven't, go ahead and do that. If you need a diagram, you're just gonna have to search it up. I'm on a time limit now, so I gotta get this going. Okay, so now I'm just gonna look around, see if I missed anything. So I'm gonna see, I'm gonna look around, and then if not, I'm gonna go ahead and fill this up with coolant, and then obviously put some engine oil. Make sure the drain plugs on both the radiator and the engine itself are both tight. Alright guys, so we got the car going. As you can see, already added everything. Got it started. It sounds fine. I could just hear a pulley, possibly a pulley going bad. Sounds really not too good at all actually. But anyway, this took me a while to make, guys, so I really appreciate some positive feedback. So please, if this helped you out, give me a thumbs up. You know, consider subscribing, help me out a little bit, and go ahead and share this video. Alright guys, I'm out.